In today's English lesson, I'm going to teach you a simple method. The 5 W's method. Who, what, when, where, and why. With this simple method, you'll be able to think in English and speak English with confidence, no matter what the topic is. Are you ready? Well then, I'm teacher Tiffany. Let's jump right in. So let's imagine the topic was this. How would you describe a good friendship? Now remember, with the 5 W's method, we have who, what, when, where, and why. So let's answer this question by first organizing our thoughts. Who? 2 school friends. What? Share their passions and challenges. When? Throughout their school years and beyond. Where? Starting in the schoolyard and continuing in various phases of life. Why? They provide mutual support, understanding, and growth, proving that a good friendship stands the test of time and change. Remember, we're at step 1. Thinking in English, using the 5 W's method, who, what, when, where, and why. So we've organized our thoughts before we've even answered the question. We have all of the information for each of the W's. But how can we turn this into a good response? How can we speak English using the information we just organized? Well, using the information we just organized, we can give the following response. 2 school friends began their journey in the schoolyard, sharing their passions and facing challenges together. Their bond grew stronger and, with each shared experience, continued throughout the various phases of their lives. This enduring friendship became a testament to mutual support, understanding, and growth. It showcases the remarkable resilience of a true friendship that thrives despite the changes and tests of time. These friends prove that a solid foundation formed in youth can evolve into a lifetime of companionship, where they not only reminisce about the past, but also support each other through future endeavors and milestones. Now, your mind is probably blown away right now, right? This response seems like an advanced English response. This response seems like something a native English speaker would say. My friend, listen to me. We only used the 5 W's method. Who, what, when, where, and why. Each piece of information is found in this response. Remember, in the very first part of our lesson for the think section, we simply organized our thoughts. Who, what, when, where, and why. And now in this part, the speak portion, we literally just combined all of the information into this response. This is why this method is so powerful. Now, within this response, you'll notice that there were a lot of new words. So I want to break down the words for you. The very first word I want to break down for you is schoolyard. Good, schoolyard. Excellent. Now, schoolyard, it literally just means an outdoor area on a school's property where children can play, often used in this context to symbolize early friendships formed during school years. So, when children go outside during recess to play in the middle of the day, they normally go to the schoolyard, an outdoor area where children can play. Schoolyard. All right? Next, we have this word, bond. Excellent. Again, bond. Good job. Now, this just means a strong relationship or connection between people. Remember, we're answering this question, how would you describe a good friendship? And our response was great. And there are also multiple words that you can start using to sound more like a native English speaker, bond being one of them. So once again, a strong relationship or connection between people. Next, we have the word enduring. Good. Again, enduring. Excellent. Now, this just means lasting over a long period of time or durable. Remember, we're talking about a good friendship, and many good friendships are enduring friendships. They stand the test of time. They last a long time. In English, we say enduring. Good. Next, we have this word, testament. Good. Again, testament. Excellent. Now, this just means a clear sign or evidence of something, right? For example, when I eat good food, you know I love food, I usually give a little shimmy, like when the food is good. This is a testament to how good the food is. Again, a clear sign or evidence of something. You got it. I know you got it. Excellent. Then we had the word mutual. Good. Again, mutual. Excellent. Now, this just means shared by two or more parties, right? Mutual. You both agree. You both have the same feeling. We say mutual, all right? Remember, in the example, it says testament to mutual support. He supports her, she supports him. Mutual. And what about this word? We also heard this word, resilience. Excellent. Again, resilience. Great job. Now, this just means the ability to recover from or adjust easily to changes or challenges. Something difficult has happened, and instead of crumbling or falling or stopping, you continue pushing through. You get past the difficulty. This is an example of resilience. Next, what about this word? Thrives. Good. Again, thrives. Excellent. Now, this just means grows, develops, or is successful. Thrives, to do extremely well. Children thrive in creative environments. They do well when they can play with things, they can draw, they can paint, they thrive. You got it? Excellent. All right, I hope you're taking notes. Here's the next one, evolve. Good. Again, evolve. Great job. Now, this just means to develop gradually or grow, often towards something better or more complex. Evolve, like a friendship evolves over time, right? As you become an adult, your conversations change. You don't spend as much time with each other because you're no longer in school, seeing each other every day. So the relationship changes, it evolves. Good job. All right, here we go. The next one is reminisce. This is a very commonly used word when speaking about friendships, all right? So here we go. Right here. Reminisce. It just means to recall past events or experiences, often with a sense of fondness or nostalgia. Man, I remember the very first time my mom made banana nut bread. True story. I'm reminiscing. A good memory, something that happened. I'm thinking about that again. Reminisce. Good job. All right, here we go. What about this word? Endeavors. Excellent. Again, endeavors. Great job. Now, this just means attempts or efforts to do something, often referring to significant or challenging tasks. In English, we say endeavors. Good. And in the example, the final sentence, it says, but also support each other through future endeavors and milestones. Future things we're trying to do, endeavors. And then the final word for this example we have is milestones. Good. Again, milestones. Excellent. It just means significant stages or events in a process or development, right? Right now, you're learning the 5 W's method: who, what, when, where, and why, to think in English and then speak English. This is a milestone on your English journey, a significant stage or event in a process or development. You got it? Excellent. All right. So again, in our response, there are so many vocabulary words that you can start using as well to help you as you continue thinking in English and speaking English. But this is not the only way to respond to this question. Let's say, for example, we are looking at it from a different angle. We're still talking about how to have a good friendship and what your thoughts are about friendship. How would you describe it? Now we're going to have a different set of W's. Who? Childhood friends who have grown up. What? Keep in touch through life's ups and downs. When? From their early childhood days to their adult lives, regardless of distance. Where? Starts in their hometown but continues wherever life takes them. And why? They show that a good friendship can endure life's changes and distances, providing a constant in an ever-changing world. Now, something you're probably also noticing is the fact that the 5 W's can also have very detailed information. Each W can have detailed information attached to it. But think about how easy it is for you to think about where and give details, or to think about why and give details. Instead of just thinking about the question in its entirety, you break it down into these W's. And what will be the result? You're going to get a response that sounds like a native English speaker. Here's the response. Childhood friends whose journey began in their hometown have managed to keep in touch through the myriad of life's ups and downs. From the innocence of their early childhood days to the complexities of their daily lives, distance has become but a minor challenge in the face of their enduring bond. No matter where life has taken them, their commitment to staying connected has remained unwavering. They show that a good friendship can endure life's changes and distances, providing a constant in an ever-changing world. Listen, this response came from us organizing our thoughts in the first step, thinking in English using the 5-step method: who, what, when, where, and why. That is why the response is so good, because we used this method: who, what, when, where, and why. Now, there are a few words even in this response and an expression, 2 expressions actually, that I want to explain to you that will help you along your English journey. But before we get to these responses, I want to remind you that each time we have a lesson, you can go to the app English with Tiffani, my app, and practice what you're learning. Download the app and go to weekly English fluency lessons. You'll be able to practice everything that you are learning right now. So if you want to practice the words, practice the expressions, or even practice the theory behind what you're learning and review, all you have to do is download the English with Tiffani app. The link is in the description, or you can go to the Play Store and download English with Tiffani. So here's the word and the expression I want to start off with actually. Keep in touch. Good. Again, keep in touch. Excellent. Now this just means maintain communication with someone, often over a long period of time. Keep in touch. Think about touch, right? You have this feeling, you're close. Keep in touch. And then we have myriad. While I was giving you the response, I said, through the myriad of life's ups and downs. Myriad. Good. This just means a countless or extremely large number of people or things. Myriad. So what about ups and downs? Ups and downs. Excellent. Now, this expression just refers to a variety of good and bad experiences that are typical of a particular situation or activities. Good days, bad days. Good results, bad results. Ups and downs. You got it? Excellent. All right. The next one is innocence. Good. Again, innocence. Excellent. Now, this just refers to the state, quality, or fact of being innocent of a crime or offense. You didn't do it. You have no idea what happened. Innocence. You're not guilty. And finally, this word, unwavering. Good. Again, unwavering. Excellent. Now, this just means steadfast, committed, or determined. Not wavering or hesitant. You stay straight on. You don't go to the left. You don't go to the right. Unwavering. Excellent. So we see again, we simply used the 5 W's to give this amazing response. And now you know a lot of extra words as well. So we've seen 2 ways to answer this question, still using the 5 W's method. But let's look at one more example. Same question, but we're going to look at different W's. How would you describe a good friendship? Who? People from different cultural backgrounds. What? Share and celebrate their cultures with each other. When? During their friendship, they learn more about each other. Where? In various settings, from homes to cultural events in their community or abroad. And why? They exemplify how good friendships can bridge cultural divides, foster mutual respect, and enrich each other's understanding of the world. Now again, you're noticing that even the information for our 5 W's, that information is getting more and more detailed. But remember, it's easy to give extra details for a single W. Once you have all of the details for each of the 5 W's, then you combine the information and get this more elaborate, more confident English response. Check out the response using the 5 W's we just organized. People from diverse cultural backgrounds have found a way to weave a tapestry of friendship that is both vibrant and enlightening. Throughout their friendship, they embark on a journey of mutual discovery, sharing and celebrating their cultures with each other. They do this in in various settings, from homes to cultural events in their community or abroad. This exchange deepens their bond and exemplifies how good friendships can bridge cultural divides, foster mutual respect, and enrich each other's understanding of the world. Remember, the initial question was just, how would you describe a good friendship? But do you see how after we included the 5 W's, who, what, when, where, and why, we were able to go so much deeper with our response? So I want us to look at a few of the words and expressions in this response. The first one is diverse. Good, excellent. Again, diverse. Good. Now this just means characterized by variety or difference. In the context used, it refers to a wide range of cultural backgrounds, right? True story, yesterday I actually had the opportunity to taste a wide variety of foods. They came from a diverse group of people, right? Haitian, We had Jamaicans, we had Trinidadians, we had Filipinos. All cooked the food for us to enjoy. You got it? Excellent. All right. Next one, weave a tapestry. Good. Again, weave a tapestry. Great job. Now, this just means to create a complex, interconnected picture or experience. In this context, it symbolizes the creation of a rich, multifaceted friendship. Weave a tapestry. So many different cultures coming together. The beauty of friendships between cultures. Next, vibrant. Good. Again, vibrant. Excellent. Now, this just means full of energy and enthusiasm. Here it refers to a lively, colorful, and dynamic friendship. Next, enlightening. Good. Enlightening. Excellent. Now, this just means providing insight, knowledge, or spiritual illumination. In this context, it refers to the learning and understanding gained from sharing and celebrating different cultures. You learn a lot. You realize things. Enlightening. Good job. All right. Embark. Good. Again, embark. Excellent. Now, this just means to start a journey or project. In this context, it refers to the start of a journey of mutual discovery within the friendship. Notice again, we said throughout their friendship, they embark on a journey of mutual discovery. They start on this journey to discover new things together. And next, bridge. We said in the response, how good friendships can bridge cultural divides. What does that mean? It means to connect or reduce the distance between two things. In this context, it refers to how the friendship can overcome cultural differences. This has happened to me before. I have tons of friends from Korea, and we were able to bridge the cultural divide. And finally, foster. Good. Again, foster. Excellent. This means to encourage the development of something. In this context, it refers to promoting mutual respect and understanding in the friendship. Again, encouraging development. Hey, this is something that will help us get better, get stronger, develop more. This will foster our friendship. You got it? Excellent. Again, all we did was we used the 5 W's method. Who, what, when, where, and why. This method is powerful because it helps you think in English, organize your thoughts, and finally speak English. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and I can't wait to talk to you in the next one. Until then, remember to speak English. You still there? You know what time it is. It's story time. Hey, I said it's story time. All right. I have a story for you today. So you probably know this about me. If you've been here for a while, you know how much I love children. I absolutely love children. They're very innocent. They're so sweet. Life is good to them, and I enjoy children. So I was at a conference, a health conference being held at a church not too far from my parents' house. And I was sitting with my friend. My mom was sitting with her friends up front, and my sister was also there. And so my sister had just gotten up. She was about to leave, and she was saying goodbye. And I gave her a hug, and she walked out the door, and then I sat back down, and I turned to talk to my friend. Now, just to put a pin in this part of the story, the day before, there was a little boy that had been running around, right, while the conference was going on. Now, there were only adults at this conference. He was the only little boy. And he caught my attention again because I love kids. They just have a good time. They find joy in life. So, but I hadn't really spoken to him except when I was at the water fountain. Again, this is the day before. And I was drinking some water, and he walked up to me and said, "No, that is my water fountain." And it caught me off guard. He may have been four years old. He wasn't 5 yet, I don't think. I think he was 4 years old. And I looked at him and I said, "What did you say?" He said, "That is my water fountain. You cannot drink water from there." So I said, "Well, this water fountain is too tall for you. What about this shorter one? You can have the shorter one and I'll take this one." He paused. He thought about it. He said, "Okay." Again, I was trying not to laugh because he looked so serious. He said, "Okay, you have the taller one. I'll have the short one." I said, "Okay." And that's where the interaction ended the day before. Then the following day, this little guy found me. Now, the following day was Saturday, and we were at a different building, and we were eating lunch. Myself, sister, mother, my friend, and some other ladies, we were all together eating. And while I'm eating, I see him coming towards me, and he literally just grabs me like a hug. And I look at him, I say, "Hey man, how are you?" And for the next 20 minutes, he was glued to me. He wanted to be around me. He was talking. I gave him a snack. He still wanted to stay and talk to me. His friends were playing, but he wanted to stay with me. I said, "Okay, sure, kid, you can hang out with me." So he stayed with me for about 20 minutes. And then he went on and played with his friends. Then the next day, this was a conference for a full week. It was the final day of the conference, and I'm sitting talking to my friend again. And in the midst of us talking, I can feel someone walking up, and it's the little boy walking up. So I turn and I look at him and I said, "Hi." He pulls my arm to open it up. I said, "Okay, he's a kid," so I just let him move my arm. He gets up into my arms. He sits on my lap, looks at me, leans his head on my chest, and hugs me. And my friends are looking at me like, "Do you know this kid?" And I said, "Well, I had one interaction with him." So I leaned down and I said, "Are you tired?" He said, "Yes." And he just laid on my chest. He stayed with me for probably about 15 minutes or so. And as I was sitting there, I said, man, it's so interesting what goes on in the mind of a child. He came to me. He didn't know me. He didn't even really know my name. But he felt comfortable sitting with me, laying on my chest and just relaxing. In the midst of all of these people that were there, he decided to come to me and lay on my chest. Now, when this happened, it made me think about my nephew. My nephew, I think I've mentioned to you before, I lost my nephew. He had brain cancer. He was about 5 years old. This was about 10 years ago. And every once in a while, I feel like God just randomly allows a little boy from somewhere. Again, this little boy belonged to somebody. He wasn't an angel or anything. But I've been in so many situations where God will just let me have that feeling once again. Those moments when I miss my nephew. And this little boy just gravitated to me. He just sat in my lap. And for those moments, I had that good feeling again, like, man, I miss my nephew, but God is good. I really love children, and I enjoyed just spending time with the little guy, and I was happy that he felt safe. So this story didn't necessarily have a climactic ending, but it is a reminder to always be kind and to remember that little children are always watching. You can put a smile on a child's face just by doing something simple. Remember to care about the kids around you. Maybe they're your own, maybe they're someone else's. But remember, kids are amazing. Love them and treat them well. I'll talk to you in the next lesson.